It's noon here in Ventnor City, New Jersey, and New York, New York. And this is CarEdge Live for Tuesday, October 8th, with your host, me, Ray, and well, that damn good-looking kid, Zach. How are you this morning or afternoon, handsome?
I'm doing well, Pops. Happy Tuesday to you. Sorry, folks, I'm in New York, so lesser quality show, but I think the content will still be pretty doggone good. Dad, today's show is brought to you by CarEdge.com and in particular, Deal School. Just launched yesterday, CarEdge.com/Deal School. If you ever wanted 38 pages worth of ebook to learn how to get the best car deal, you can download that 100% free and watch, and please share Deal School, caredge.com/Deal School. The big story we're going to jump into in just a moment, Dad, is with Nissan bringing back their stair-step incentive program and really indicating and I think ringing the alarm bell for what's going on in the industry. But before we do, let's take a moment to talk about Deal School. You just put this together the other day. It's brand new for 2024. Why should people be excited about Deal School?
I don't know. They get to listen to me for 22 minutes.
Is it 22 minutes that's going to save them thousands of bucks?
Well, if they listen closely, it's 22 minutes that could save them thousands of bucks. And it's 22 minutes that could keep them from all the aggravation that is normally associated with trying to buy a car today. So, yeah, it could be 22 of the best minutes you ever invest in your future car buying habits.
It's 100% free, folks. If you can, please share it. It's a free resource that we think anyone and everyone should put their hands on. Dad, the big story this morning, Nissan revives stair-step program to drive sales of 3 key models. All right, so I want to break down here what a stair-step program is and why I kind of characterize this as sounding an alarm bell. This is on the Rogue, Pathfinder, and Frontier. Help us understand why this is a big deal, what a stair-step program is, and while you're doing that, I'm actually going to pull up back on the CarEdge car search the market day supply for the Rogue, Pathfinder, and Frontier in a few areas because it's going to demonstrate why Nissan's hands were forced here. But help us understand why this is so important.
Well, the way a stair-step program works is you're given a sales objective by Nissan, and let's say you hit 90% of your objective. They'll pay you X amount. You hit 100% of your objective, X becomes Y, and it's a lot bigger. And then you hit, say, 110% and above, Y becomes Z, and it's really much, much bigger, back to the first vehicle that you sold. Now, why don't I like stair-step programs? And why do manufacturers like them? I don't like them because from Jump Street, they encourage you to discount the living crap out of your inventory in order to sell it. So they're encouraging you to devalue your product at the time you're selling it because every dealer is going to try and chase the maximum amount per car that they're going to be able to earn because they want to hit 110% or 120% or whatever the number is that you have to hit. So it just means from the beginning of the month, you start taking the shortest possible. You might even be losing money on some of the deals initially to be making with the hopes of making it all back by hitting that third tier in the stair step. Just devalues the crap out of your product. For instance, if you have somebody with a Rogue that wants to trade in the Rogue for another Rogue, and you have to try and hit these stairs, well, guess what happens? Their current Rogue has gone down in value because the brand new Rogues have dramatically gone down in value.
Well, look at this, Dad. I think partly what could be influencing Nissan's decision-making is the fact that new 2025 Rogues are starting to hit dealer lots. Look at this. There's a 580 days supply of the brand new 2025 Nissan Rogue. 1,173 of these 2025 Nissan Rogues first sale within 100 miles of where we 07305. So that's somewhere back east of 7305. That would put us in, wait for it.
I have no idea.
I've got us in Hudson County, New Jersey, Dad. So there's over 1,100 of these for sale within Hudson County, New Jersey. Only 91 of the new 2025s have sold. in the last 45 days. But if I go back and I go to the 2024s, you can see that there are still 3,136 of the 2024s on dealer lots right now. They've sold 2,169 of them in the last 45 days. But to your point about devaluing, don't you think a little bit of this is based on the fact that they have brand new 25s coming out at the same time that they can't sell the 24s? So, oh crap, we gotta incentivize something.
I get incentivizing it. Okay, if you're willing to pay your dealer, I think it was upwards of $750 per vehicle, assuming they hit the highest tier in their stair-step program. I got a great idea. Just increase your customer rebate by $750 and allow the customer to have additional down payment towards the purchase of their vehicle through that rebate, rather than asking your dealers to devalue the vehicle at the time that they're selling it. That's the problem with stair steps, in my opinion.
For sure. But I think taking the lens of what this means for customers and less the lens of what it means for dealers, this is a great sign for customers that are interested in buying a Nissan, isn't it? Because it's more desperation from a brand that, let's be very clear here, Dad, a brand that saw their profit internationally decrease by 99% year over year because of incentive spending. I come back here to July 25th, earlier this year. Where was it? Nissan's operating profit collapsed 99% in the 3 months ended June 30th. Like, this is good news for would-be Nissan buyers, isn't it?
Well, yeah, if you want to be able to buy a vehicle cheap, but it's not going to retain any of its value. Okay. Can it help? Yeah, the aggressive dealers are going to be really, really aggressive. But guess what? The aggressive dealers would have been really, really aggressive anyway, because, well, they know that the 2025s are out. They know that the 2025s are starting to back up. They know that they have to get really, really aggressive to move the remaining 2024s. Aggressive dealers get it. Non-aggressive dealers don't get it. It's just there are, in my opinion, better ways to move the market than. I'm sorry you don't like what I have to say.
You keep going there. I'm with Barron here, Dad. Who cares if it retains its value? I don't buy a car every year.
Because it devalues the car before you've even purchased it. It significantly impacts its resale value when you want to go to get rid of it.
So let's frame it this way. What if, Dad? What if I'm a customer who wants to buy a car and hold on to it for a decade? Who cares? This is an awesome opportunity. This is an awesome opportunity. Nissan is struggling mightily. They are ringing the alarm bell. They lost 99% of their profit year over year. They've reintroduced a stair-step program, which devalues their own brand, but they have to make that hard decision because they have such a surplus of inventory with the model year changeover. If you are a customer out there who's thinking about buying a new car and holds on to their new cars for 5-10 years, go to your local Nissan dealership because they're desperate. So that's the angle I'm interested in, man.
And to a certain degree, that angle makes sense. And as Brian Hendricks suggests, but can a Nissan last a decade?
Let's look at that. You know what? Let's look at that.
Yeah.
We have data on this. Let me pull it up.
I'm pretty sure it can. It might get expensive. I'm not 100% certain.
Well, that's what we're about to look at here in just a second. I'll pull it up on the screen, Pops. Let's do it together. Stand by.
Well, we're not really doing it together. You're the only one doing it. I'm just waiting on you.
All right, let's go to research here. We're going to research a Nissan, and we'll do the Rogue. All right, we're on the CarEdge page for the Nissan Rogue, and let's go down to cost of ownership, and let's look at maintenance. Nissan Rogue will cost about $7,712 for maintenance and repairs during its first 10 years of service. This beats the industry average for popular SUV models by $538. There is also a 22.22% chance that the Rogue will require a major repair, a repair costing more than $1,000 during that time. This is 1.25% better than similar vehicles in this segment. So there you go. Will Nissan Rogue last a decade? Yes, it will. And it should cost a little bit less than similar vehicles.
Well, I might have to rush right out and not buy one. But but okay, so there's some valuable information that you can utilize when it comes to deciding whether or not you want to take advantage of this particular situation. So perhaps for those who are going to keep the car a long time, this would be a vehicle to absolutely consider if you can get an extremely aggressive deal on it. And you should be able to because of this new stair step program.
All right, let's talk about that stair-step program in a bit more detail so that if you do head to your local Nissan dealership, you can be nice and informed. The plan, detailed in a memo obtained by Automotive News, pays $200 for each of those vehicles. Those vehicles, again, being the Rogue, the Pathfinder, and the Frontier.
Man,
If
I
a
was
dealership
pretty
reaches
close to my guess as to the percentages.
Yep. So they'll receive $200 for each of those vehicles sold if they reach 90% of their monthly goal. That increases to $500 at 100% and $750 at 120%. This will continue to add pressure. I want to be very clear to end of month transactions, end of month car buying. If you are going to buy a new car, the best time to do it is at the end of the month. And help us walk through that rationale, Dad. And maybe if you don't mind, share an anecdote or a story from your past where you had stair-step programs, where you had volume bonuses. There could be $100,000+ riding on the line for taking a loser deal at the end of the month, right?
Well, if let's say you've sold 50 Rogues, and if you hit 120% of your objective, that means you get paid, what was it, $750 a car. So that's what, 35,000, what about $38,000, something like that. Are you going to take a much shorter deal to make sure you get to 120% at the end of the month because you're going to pick up an extra $250 per car rolling back to the first car? Absolutely, you are. If you're at a dealer that's between 90 and 100%, and there's a $300 spread between that, are you going to work harder to get to 100%? Absolutely, you are. So yes, there could be some really strong deals to be had, but let's face it, if the dealer gives you an extra 500 or 750 to make the car deal, that's really not a lot of money and I know Rogues are relatively inexpensive, but that's still not a lot of money in my mind to get a customer to say yes to something that's been languishing for the longest period of time. I think it would take more money than that, but we'll all find out together at the beginning of November when we see what Nissan sales were.
Now, one other factor impacting dealers and their decision-making around discounting would be this. This is a quote from a car dealer, a Nissan dealer. Quote, "I'd rather lose $30,000 in discounting new cars than pay $60,000 in floor plans." That's another factor when we look
Yeah.
back at these vehicles. Again, within the Hudson County area of New Jersey, there are 3,136 2024 Nissan Rogue SVs sitting on dealer lots right now. That's a lot of financing. That's a lot of floor plan expense. There is a tremendous incentive for dealers, especially Nissan dealers or other dealers that have a ton of inventory, to move on from that stuff, to discount the prices, especially now that the OEM, now that Nissan is going to reimburse them a little bit for whatever discounts they put out there.
It also suggests that being a Nissan dealer means it's really tough right now to be making any real money. The average store today, probably 3 to 3.5% of it goes to the bottom line of everything that's taken in. It might be at a Nissan store closer to 1% or 1.5%. So it becomes a real struggle if you're Nissan, or not to beat on Stellantis, but if you're a Stellantis dealership in the same type of situation, it becomes a real struggle for the store to remain profitable when you have to factor in the potential loss or discounts to compensate for the extra floor plan expense that you have. So it is not that anybody should feel sorry for any of these dealers, because when vehicles were in short supply, the dealers had no difficulty whatsoever trying to, well, increase the prices artificially with additional dealer markups and market adjustments. So they didn't have a hard time trying to take advantage of the customer. And as a customer, you shouldn't feel bad about trying to take advantage of those who tried to take advantage of you.
I mean, Dad, we should be seeing market adjustments in the opposite direction right about
Yeah.
now.
Well,
That's
yeah.
what all of these data points suggest. I want to remind everyone, just yesterday on the CarEdge channel and back at caredge.com/deal school, we launched for 100% free access the secrets to score the best car deal. This is the 4th iteration of CarEdge's Deal School, and we have a companion 100% free ebook that you can download as well. Just go to caredge.com/deal school. You can watch the video there. You can download the ebook there. And it's definitely going to be useful information if you're thinking about buying a new car or a used car between now and the end of the year. Buyer's market, baby. 100% a buyer's market.
And let me ask you a question. Can you post in the chat here exactly where one would go to be able to unlock the secrets to score the best deal? Is there a specific page at CarEdge?
I said it so many times, man. caredge.com/deal school. All right, we're going to jump to the chat here for just a moment. And then after we do that, Dad, I have another story that I think is pertinent and relevant for today's conversation. We've got here from Baron. Thank you, Baron. Come on, Ray. We've been saying make the cars cheaper. If Nissan is going to pay dealers to sell in bulk at cheaper prices, then buyers win. Thank you, Baron, for the kind contribution. It is a convoluted way to get the price of the car down. It is, right?
Yeah. The other way to do it is just lower the damn prices to begin with. Okay, that's I mean, in 1999, when Acura changed the TL, they equipped it with much more equipment, and they lowered the price, the MSRP, by like $5,000. So it's doable. Okay, there are many ways you can make the vehicle cheaper. You can incentivize the dealer to sell it for less, or as the manufacturer, you could decide to ask less for it initially. Now, I don't know, it must have worked for Acura. That TL sold at MSRP for like a year and a half, almost 2 years. It was in such short supply because it was so popular at the price point. So the same could be doable for the Rogue. Okay.
Either way, the price is going down. It's just it's a style or taste approach here. One would be you come out and you make splashy headlines by reducing the MSRP of your vehicles, which, if you don't remember, Dad, Jeep did that earlier in the year. At the end of last year, they reduced the MSRPs of some of their vehicles by $1,000, $2,000, reissued invoices, things like that. I don't really know if that moved the needle. And the other approach would be you just incentivize the crap out of your dealer network to figure out how to sell them, which then, passes along some amount of saving to the customers. But either way, I think this is, generally speaking, great news for consumers because it's just desperation from the automaker.
It should make more vehicles available at a more affordable price for more people. So yes, in that sense, I agree. Yes, absolutely.
Let's keep going to the chat here, Dad. Baron also said, thank you, Baron. Zero sympathy for dealers. They ripped us off for years. I think there's a lot of alignment there, Baron. No sympathy for an oversupply of inventory. It's the market has highs and the market has lows, and this is going to be a low for dealers and a high moment for customers.
Yeah, I think I said it before. Don't feel bad if you're going to try and take advantage of a dealer after a dealer tried to take advantage of you. So
yeah, and I think I would only reframe it to say, like, take advantage of a situation. Like the dealerships took advantage of a situation where there was a car shortage, and now you can take advantage of a situation where there's an oversupply.
I believe the saying is the pendulum has swung in the other direction.
Hopefully neither person's taking advantage of the other person, but the situation. We take advantage of the situation.
Yes, take advantage of the situation.
Dad, I want to come here from Cash Koi. Thank you, Cash Koi. Very kind and thoughtful contribution. It's not just the car price itself. My insurance told me that they would double the rate if I buy a new Alpha or Mach-E, or BMW. Honda is only one cheaper. I want to show everyone another thing back on CarEdge.com. We were on, I'll go hit the back button a couple times here and pull this up on the screen. We were on this Nissan Rogue page, and we got here because we're on CarEdge.com. We went to research, and then we typed in Nissan Rogue. On cost to own, so when you come to this page, on cost to own, you'll see insurance. You can also just Google search car insurance calculator space CarEdge cash poi, and our car insurance calculator will come up. But you can see here, we have the breakdown based on your age and what your expected credit or kind of like driving history is. You can see the breakdown of what you should expect your insurance cost to be for all these vehicles. You can see the list over here. So please, everyone, do me a favor. Google search car insurance calculator space CarEdge. Use that tool before you buy a new car. It's really useful information.
The whole research hub is filled with so much valuable information that people need to use when it comes to deciding on what car to buy. Perhaps you can find a car that's a little less, but the insurance is considerably more, so that ultimately it doesn't end up being that the car is less money. So that's why it's important to factor in all of the expenses, the maintenance, the insurance, the fuel costs, all of that, the depreciation, so that you can make a better, more informed decision. That's all we encourage you to do. Do your due diligence so you know what the hell you're looking at when you're trying to spend your money wisely.
I just popped a BMW M5 in here, Dad. Just, look at this. An 18-year-old trying to get a BMW M5 insured. Yeah, good luck with that. These are some big numbers.
What's that 21-year-old kid's name that just crashed the McLaren? I wonder what his insurance is going to be.
There you go. Please, like I said, just Google search car insurance calculator space CarEdge, and it'll pop right up. Skip all of the ads that are up here. They're just trying to sell you insurance. Use the calculator. Super good information. Very proud of our team.
Are we trying to sell them insurance?
Not at the moment, folks. Not at the moment. From Scott. Thank you, Scott Carrick. We really appreciate the kind contribution. Hey, guys.
Thank you, Scott.
I finally caught you all live. Welcome. We are live from New York and Ventnor City, New Jersey. Anyway, actually looking to buy a model year Nissan Titan Pro 4X. Any insight into what I should pay? And this is a moment, Dad, where I want to give Space a quick shout out because I see Space here in the chat. Good to see you, Mario. Shoot for 11% off MSRP before incentive. So there you go. You can also get that information, Scott, on the CarEdge Car Search. We have a target discount for all makes and models while you're searching for vehicles. But there you go. From Space in the chat right there. Shoot for that 11%, 11% off is what Mario on the team is suggesting.
Very good. May I say, Mario is the best. Absolutely. He makes me look absolutely inept. That is how good Mario is.
Let's also see that. I'm going to do a quick experiment live with everyone here. Give me one quick second. What I'm curious is if we actually have any. That was a Titan, correct?
Yes, Titan Pro something or another.
Yeah, so let's see. Titan. I'm curious if we have any Titan deals in our database. Please. Yeah, we do. Oh, they're used ones, though.
Okay, go back up for a second.
Yeah.
Look at that. Stop right there. Go down. Whoop. CarEdge value rating. You might want to take a look at all the information in regards to depreciation, maintenance, fuel costs, and insurance before you make a determination that that's the way you want to go.
11% off MSRP, though. That's always nice. All right, one more comment here from Brian. Thank you, Brian. We really appreciate the thoughtful contribution. You don't give teenagers the keys to the Mercedes. I think that's just good life advice. That's great life advice.
Well, you can give them keys to the Mercedes, just not the one that they can drive.
Speaking of Mercedes, Dad, do you mind hitting with an ad lib?
Really? You got to be kidding me.
Yeah. How Mercedes and other automakers aim to make cars mobile entertainment hubs. BMW and Volkswagen are working with Air Console to provide video game apps for in-car entertainment. I'm going to give you the floor, Dad.
Don't give me the floor. You can give me the finger, but don't give me the floor. Um, this is like this is like the stupidest stuff in the history of humanity. I mean, do 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 we really? Does anybody really need to have the ability to be able to play games, video games, on the dashboard of their car? Now I realize that, well, the driver won't be able to play because, well, that would just be, well, I don't know, too distracting. But the fact that the driver might be able to see the game that the person in the passenger seat is playing, oh, that couldn't be distracting at all. Okay. uh, there is there is no human need to be able to play video games in an automobile based on the dashboard. You know, just driving a car is entertainment enough. Just watching other people drive, just watching people drive and text is entertainment enough. Do you really need to watch them drive, text, and, I don't know, play on their console at the same time? We're driving cars here, okay? Highly heavy, moving.
Highly heavy.
Yeah, they're heavy. They're heavy and they're moving and it's equipment, and you have accidents and people get hurt and killed. You don't need distractions like this. Concentrate on driving the damn car. It's There are better ways to spend money for these manufacturers. Don't turn a car into an entertainment hub. It's a car, damn it.
Do you think, Dad, what is your professional opinion on the impact these types of investments in cars will have on insurance and cost of ownership? What do you think?
Well, I don't. It's got to impact cost of ownership because this stuff ain't free. Okay, so they're going to raise the prices of the cars because they've included this nonsense in them. Insurance companies are going to go, well, this is going to distract drivers just a tad bit more. So your insurance rates, which have jumped 20 to 25% in the last couple of years, are going to go up even more. Uh, Human beings shouldn't need this much entertainment. Okay, I'm just saying. Find something else. I mean, if you just, this is going to sound terrible. Read a book, okay? Not the driver, but the passenger. Let the passenger read a book. Let them. They don't need to be playing games, video games on your dashboard. It's just, we have, as a society, we have. And I'm not just talking here in the United States because that was Mercedes and BMW, and so apparently it's big in Germany. We as society have lost our way completely when we think I can't have a car without that. Yeah, you can. You just use the damn car for transportation from point A to point B and concentrate on driving the damn thing. Oh my God! Leave the entertainment to Zach and I.
This has been a good lecture on distracted driving and why you shouldn't do it and why automakers should not enable it. So I like that. That was a good message.
I'm sorry. I lose my mind over some of this stuff. It just seems like such a waste of time, effort, and energy.
I totally agree. I really, really do. Gonna jump back to the chat here in just a moment, but before we do, again, caredge.com/deal school. If you know anyone who's in the market to buy a car, this is 100% free, and it's 22 minutes that'll help them save a bunch of money. Literally, my dad walking you through everything you need to know to buy a new or used car, and also your trade-in for 2024. Please, folks, if you know anyone in the market, you got to turn them on to caredge.com/deal school. From Squeegee Kid,
yes,
what's going to happen is when there is an accident, thank you, Squeegee Kid, and the passenger has to have their hands amputated, there will be a lawsuit citing their hands would have been okay had they not been raised playing a game. That is diabolical work, Squeegee Kid.
It is, and I would imagine all the ambulance chasing lawyers out there are going, yeah, baby. You know, I'm gonna be able to afford that $5 million little bungalow by the beach. It is. We're such a litigious society that, you know, I'm sure there'll be people that'll sue because, well, it was available, but why wasn't it on my car? Um,
Whatever, man.
yeah.
Whatever. We'll stay
Hey,
tuned and
can
certainly
I
cover
say
that
one
news when it comes
thing?
out. Yeah.
I had the most delightful conversation and interview with the host of a cost of living radio program in Canada.
Ooh, that's cool.
He'll send us a link when the story comes out. But yeah, I'll be on the Canadian Broadcast Corporation radio sometime. And the best part of the interview was when we were done. Paul said to me, he said, man, he said, I don't even need a car, but I want to buy a car from you. It I personally, when I ran dealerships, could make buying a car fun. But I don't miss it.
For those of you that are in the media, that's awesome, Dad. Really, really excited to listen to that. For those of you in the media, caredge.com/press, you can see all of our latest press releases where we've been mentioned, and also get in touch with us to see if we can help you out with anything. And you're talking about buying a car from you, Dad. Well, I hate to break it to folks. You can't buy a car from my dad. However, we do offer a car buying service. So when you're back on CarEdge.com, just click on car buying service right here, or up at the top, buy a car buying service, car leasing service. We can help you out with a car, buying a car or leasing a vehicle. So unfortunately, you can't buy a car from my dad, but you can get pretty doggone close. From Matthew. Thank you, Matthew. Every teen should start in a 1980s Mercedes 240D stick shift to learn how to actually drive and how to maintain momentum rather than be a clueless blob in an auto.
You gotta love Matthew.
Gotta love Matthew. He's definitely got an idea there. That's a show. We'll be back tomorrow with more CarEdge Live. We're starting at 9 a.m. Pacific time, like we always do, 12 p.m. Eastern, and we'll be back with something good, I am sure. Thank you as always, Dad. I love you. Thanks so much.
Thank you. And for those of you who just can't get enough of me, I'll be on with Brandon on Car Sense at 1:30 this afternoon. And God only knows what we're going to talk about. But whatever it is, we're going to talk for, I don't know, an hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes. So I'm looking forward to that as well.